Steph once again, and welcome to my second math tutorial video. Thank you nga pala to my students, to my friends, and to my colleagues who have expressed their support in my first video and who have shared my video to incoming grade 9 students. I hope you continue your support to my channel as we promote online learning through math tutorial videos in the midst of our situation right now. Thank you so much. So in our first math tutorial video, we already learned about quadratic equations, its definition, the conditions of a quadratic equation, and its standard form. Okay, so pinag-aralan natin how to identify quadratic equation. So this time, yung goal natin for this video is we will be dealing with transformable equations into quadratic equations. So ito yung mga hindi halatang quadratic equations, but once we algebraically manipulate these equations, quadratic equations pala. So yan yung pag-aaralan natin, and set these equations into standard form of quadratic equations. So let's start. So for our example, we have this instruction: transform the following equations into a quadratic equation in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Or, in other words, we will transform them into the standard form of a quadratic equation. So the given in number 1 is 6 minus 2x plus 3x squared equals 0. Now for this example, we can obviously see the quadratic term, the linear term, and the constant term already. Pero it's not yet in the standard form. So for this, we are only going to rearrange the terms according to descending order of powers. So if we're going to refer to our standard form, again, the first term should be the quadratic term, the next term is the linear, and the third term or the last term is the constant term equal to 0. Since we don't have problem with this side because it's already equal to 0, so we only deal with the other side. So to answer this, we are going to rearrange the orders. So since dapat mauna ang 3x squared, so the standard form should be 3x squared followed by the linear term, which is negative 2x, and then followed by the constant term, which is positive 6 equals 0. So this is now our quadratic equation. Example number 2 is 5 minus 2x squared equals 6x. So for this example, we can obviously see the three terms again. We have the quadratic term, this is our constant term, and this will be our linear term. But this form still doesn't follow our standard form. So we have to rearrange according to order of powers, and then notice that the term 6x is on the other side of the equation. Now this side should be equal to 0, therefore we are going to apply addition property of equality. So we have 6x. So to make this side equal to 0, we are going to subtract 6x. So we have positive 6x minus 6x, that will be 0. Now again, according to addition property of equality, whatever we added on this side, we will also add that to this side. So this time, we added negative 6x to this side of the equation. So we are going to subtract 6x to this side and copy the other two terms. 5 minus 2x squared. Right now, we're going to rearrange these terms. So based on our standard form, we're going to have the quadratic term first, which is negative 2x squared, followed by negative 6x, which is our linear term, and then followed by our constant term, positive 5. So remember, it is descending order of powers from the power of 2, power of 1, and 0 power. So we now have our quadratic equation in standard form. Now, if we are asked, what are the values of our coefficients? So here, we have A equal to -2, B equal to -6, and C equal to +5. So, pag hindi natin transform into standard form, magiging mali na yung answer natin. So, like dito. So, if you're going to base on this, A will be -2, which is correct. Pero, the coefficient B, kung dito ka magbabase, is +6x. So, before nyo gawin ang pag-identify ng coefficients nyo, you should transform your quadratic equation first into its standard form. For example number 3, we have 2x times the quantity of x plus 4 equals the square of the quantity of x minus 3. So, nagiging medyo complicated na ang ating equation. So, if you watch our first tutorial, we have already dealt with these types of expressions. So, for this expression, to simplify, we are going to use distributive property of multiplication. And then, ito naman is, ito yung dalawang factors ng x minus 3. So, either gawin natin yung ginawa natin sa first tutorial na paghiwalayin natin yung dalawang factors and then use FOIL method. Pero, di ba sabi ko may shortcut? Ang sinasabi kong shortcut dyan ay ang special products. So, if you watch our previous tutorial, ito yung sinasabi kong shortcut if ever may nakita kayong ganito, a square of a binomial. Kasi, special products yan. So, in our special products, ito yung rule. A plus or minus B, tapos squared, that is equal to the square of the first term, plus or minus whatever is the operation here or the sign here, yun yung gagamitin natin. So, yung positive, gagamitan din natin ng positive. Yung negative, gagamitan din natin ng negative. And then, for the last term is the square of the second term here. So, the A here stands for X. So, gagayahin lang natin. Whatever happens here, gagayahin lang natin dito. I-apply natin yung special product. So, ito. We are no longer going to apply the FOIL method because actually, FOIL method is parang for me, it's a longer process. So, if you are familiar with special products, magiging madali na lang. Okay? So, ito, A, sa product niya becomes A squared. So, magiging X squared din to. And then, since the operation here or the sign here is negative or minus, so we will also follow the minus sign. And then, we have 2. So, twice AB. Ang ibig sabihin ng AB is you multiplied the first term and the second term. So, times x and 3. So, x times 3, that would be 3x. Okay? And then, magiging positive b squared. So, magiging positive, ito, 3 squared. Ayan. So, sa kabilang side naman, we will do distributive property. So, 2x times x, the result is 2x squared. And then 2x times positive 4, the product is positive 8x. Okay. So, let's simplify. Ito, wala pa tayong magagawa dito kasi wala pang like terms. So, we just copy 2x squared plus 8x. So, here, we can simplify this and this. So, just copy x squared. And 2 times 3x, that would be 6x. And then this becomes positive 9. Okay, kasi 3 squared is 3 times 3. Hindi yan 6, ha? Minsan nagkakamali. So, class, dito na minsan nagkakamali most of the students, or perhaps most of my students. Kasi, yung pag-transpose is nagkakamali na sila sa sign. Now, take note, class, yung transpose is hindi yan
part ng property ng algebra. Or there's no rule in algebra which we call transpose. Actually, transpose is just the term that we use to describe the application of addition property of equality. So, ganito yan. So, di ba in standard form of a quadratic equation, kailangan natin gawing 0 ang side na to. So, again, to make this 0, we will just add whatever makes each of this equation 0. To make x squared 0, we have, just copy this x squared. Since positive, we will subtract x squared. And then, to make 6x 0 naman, we will add positive 6x. Okay? Kasi negative siya. So, positive yung i-add natin. And then, to make positive 9 0, we will add negative 9. Okay. So, eto, magiging 0 na to. This will also become 0. And this is 0. So, 0 plus 0 plus 0. This is, or this side is now 0. And then, according to addition property of equality, whatever you added to one side of your equation shall be added to the other side of the equation. So, ano yung mga terms that we added to this side? So, those are negative x squared, positive 6x, and then negative 9. Okay, and we just then copy 2x squared plus 8x. Ayan. So, to this side, makikita natin that there are like terms. So, si 2x squared, we can combine this with negative x squared. So, magiging 2x squared minus x squared kasi like terms sila. And then si 8x, so plus 8x plus 6x, makukombine natin yan. And then minus 9. Yung 9, yun na yung constant term natin kasi wala na siyang ibang constant term. Wala nang ibang like term yan. Combining like terms na tayo, 2x squared minus x squared, so that becomes x squared. Okay? X squared. And then 8x plus 6x, it will be positive 14x. And then just copy minus 9 equals 0. This is now our quadratic equation. So, if you see, in my solution, ang daming kailangang gawin, ang daming kailangan i-add. Now, kaya, we came up with transpose. Yun yung simpler way of doing addition property of equality. So, ito yun. So, instead of adding the terms that will make this expression 0, we will just do transfer of terms. So, we have 2x squared. Tapos, yung like term niya sa kabila is x squared. Kaya, ang gagawin natin, we will transfer x to this side. And then, once it crosses the equal sign, since it is positive here, if we transfer x squared to the other side of the equation, we will change its sign. So, it becomes negative x squared. And that's what happened here. Ito na yon. So, hindi na tayo dumaan sa ganitong process. Okay? And next is we have, for this side again, 8x. So, yung like term naman niya, sa kabilang side ng equation is negative 6x. So, if we're going to transpose, we will transfer this term to the other side. And once it crosses, parang yung equal sign becomes the bridge of the terms. So, once it crosses the bridge, the sign changes and it becomes positive 6x. So, ito yung nangyari dyan. And then, yung 9 naman, cross, magiging negative 9. And then what happens to this side is because you have already transferred them all, wala nang natira, so we will just put 0. Okay, so comparing the two process, mas mahaba-haba itong process na to. That's why we came up with transpose. Okay, so we will just continue this just to prove that we will have the same result as this one. So 2x squared minus x squared, we have x squared, okay, then plus, this is 14x, and then this is minus 9 equals 0. Ayan, so pareho lang. Okay, and that is our quadratic equation in standard form for this equation. Now for our fourth example, we have the square of the quantity of t plus 2 plus the square of the quantity t minus 3 equals 9. So as you can see, dalawang square of binomials ang one side of our equation. And then, the other side is 9. So, unahin muna natin itong side na to kasi medyo complicated to and mahaba-haba to. So, balik tayo sa ating special products. So, this term represents A plus B. This term naman represents A minus B. So, gagawin natin yung ginawa natin kanina. So, the first term will be squared. Dito muna tayo. Okay? So, that is t squared. And then, since plus, so we will use plus twice, kasi ito yun, 2, twice the product of t and 2. So, ang product ng t and 2 is 2t. And then, plus, so ito yun, plus 2 squared. 2 squared. Ayan. So, lalagyan lang natin ng grouping symbol. And then, adding this, ito naman. So, the first term is again squared. So, t squared. Then, since subtraction, we will also use subtraction. So, minus, and then follow 2. And then, yung product ng 3 and t, so that is 3t. And then, positive 3 squared. And then, lagyan lang natin ng equals 9. So, ayan. We already applied our special product. So, I suggest you memorize kasi nakakatulong siya to shorten your time in solving and nakakaiwas stress talaga pag alam mo yung ginagawa mo. Okay? So, children, memorize. Huwag maging tamad. Lalo na ngayon, marami tayong panahon. So, familiarize kasi malaking tulong talaga. Okay? So, eto na. Let's have the next step. So, simplify muna natin bawat isa. So, for this side, or for these terms, we have t square. And then, ito, to simplify that, that would be 4t. And then, plus 4. Ayan. So, lagyan muna natin ng grouping symbol again. So, plus, ito naman is t square. Tapos, magiging 6t. Ito, 2 times 3 is 6. And then, just copy t. And then, plus 9 equals 9. Okay, so this time, kukunin na natin yung grouping symbol. So, for this first, pwede na natin kunin yung grouping symbol na yan. Okay, so t square plus 4t plus 4. Ayan. Kasi wala namang complications for this side. Dito lang, for the second set of terms natin, before you remove the grouping symbol, make sure that we will distribute whatever the operation here. So, we will multiply, since positive to, kasi plus, so, distribute mo yan sa bawat isang sign sa loob. Okay? So, ito, positive times positive. So, the next is positive t square. Ayan. So, ito, positive times negative. So, negative pa rin. And then, ito, positive times positive plus 9. And then, equals 9. So, no problem if the operation here is positive kasi it will not change anything with these terms. Yung problema lang is pag naging negative to kasi magiging or mag-change na yung mga signs ng mga terms na to pag this one is negative. So, be careful with that. Diyan mostly nagkakamali. So, eto. We will now combine like terms. So, ito at saka ito, like terms. So, t squared plus t squared, that will be 2t squared. Now, for your convenience, pwede namang i-rearrange nyo sila pagsamahin nyo yung mga like terms para maging madali sa inyo yung pag-combine sa kanila. So, for me, okay na to. Kasi nakikita naman natin, di ba? And for sure, grade 9, alam naman natin kung ano yung like terms. So, the next one is the linear terms. So, 4t and 6t. So, positive 4t minus 6t, the result is negative 2t. t. And then for the constant terms, 4 and 9, since both are positive, that will be positive 13 equals 9. Okay. So this time, obvious na ang ating quadratic term, linear term, and constant term. Pero the other problem is dapat maging 0 din to. Don't forget that one kasi this number will change our constant term. Hindi na yan magiging 13. So if you answered for the constant term 13, your answer is wrong. Okay, so dapat gawin muna natin tong 0. Now to make that 0, we have 9 minus 9, and whatever we do here, again, we do it to the other side of the equation. So that will be minus 9, and then just copy. So we have 2t squared minus 2t plus 13. Okay, so this becomes 0, and then we have 2t squared minus 2t, and then 13 minus 9, that is positive 4. And this is now our quadratic equation.
So we're done with our discussion. Right now, we will have our evaluation and we will test if may natutunan kayo sa discussion. So I will be flashing transformable quadratic equations kagaya ng nasa discussion natin, and you are going to give us, or you are going to give me the standard form of this quadratic equation. And then you're also going to identify the three coefficients, the coefficient A, B, and C. Okay? So let's start. So the given is 3x minus 2x squared equals 7. So again, if you still need more time, you can pause this video and then play it again once you have the answer. So for the standard form of this equation is, okay, so that is the standard form. Kasi quadratic siya, obviously, because the highest degree is 2. Ayan. So we have the standard form, 2x squared plus 3x minus 7 equals 0. So what happened is, yung 7, we have transposed 7 to the other side of the equation. So from positive, it becomes negative 7. And again, I just want to remind you, transposition is just the shortcut for addition property of equality. Wala pong transposition na rule or na property sa algebra. Okay? And then, so these are the coefficients. So based on the standard form, A is negative 2, B is equal to positive 3, and C is equal to negative 7. And this is now our second item. So our given is the square of the quantity x minus 4 plus 8 equals 0. So once you manipulate, the result is this one, applying the special product. So from here, naging ito na siya. X squared minus 8x plus 16. And then we have plus 8 equal to 0. Okay? And then, ito na ang kanyang standard form. Okay? So, yan yung x squared. And then 8x. And then, paano naging 24? 24 is the combination of the two constant terms. So, 16 and 8, that is 24. And the coefficients of our quadratic equation in standard form, A is equal to 1, B is equal to negative 8, and C is equal to 24. So the next item is square of the quantity x plus 1 equals 3 times x minus 2. So if you're going to manipulate, the result is this one, applying our special product to this side and applying distributive property to this side. Okay? And then, the standard form should be this one, x squared minus x plus 7. A is equal to 1, B is equal to negative 1, C is equal to 7. So if hindi nyo pa-gets yung answer, go back to the discussion and try to solve on your own and then apply it to the problem or to the equation given. And lastly, we have square of 2x minus 1 equals the square of the quantity x plus 1. So, if you're going to apply our special product, the result of this is ito. So, the square of the first term, ang first term natin is 2x. So, the square of that is 4x squared. And then, twice the product of the first term and second term. So, we have 4x. And then, square of the last term, we have positive 1. So, we have here, ito naman siya, x squared plus 2x plus 1. And then, so applying addition property of equality or transposition, so transferring of the terms, ito yung hitsura niya, before we get the standard form. So the standard form is ito na. So 3x squared minus 6x equals 0 kasi the constant term is 0. Positive 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. Therefore, the coefficients are a is equal to 3, b is equal to negative 6, and c is equal to 0. So that's how we do algebraic manipulations to those transformable quadratic equations. Pero class, hindi lang yan ang mga transformable quadratic equations. Marami pa, and iba-iba yung hitsura niya. So, I suggest, if you have internet connection, you search for more problems, more examples, and practice more so you can master the skill for manipulating algebraic equations. So that's the end of our tutorial. Thank you very much at nakaabot ka dito. So I hope to see you next time, and God bless!